Hello everyone! Today I have a video for you about the past simple in English. When do we use the past simple and how do we form it? We're going to look at negative sentences, positive sentences and questions, and we're going to do some practice. So thank you very much for joining me again on English with Archie today. I'm Archie, nice to meet you. Let's get started. So first of all, when do we use the past simple tense? So the past simple tense is the normal tense we use for talking about the past. So talking about anything that happened before now. There are different past tenses: past simple, past continuous, present perfect, past perfect, etc. However, the past simple is the most commonly used one. Importantly, as I said, we use it to talk about things that happened in the past, but another important thing to know is we use it to talk about things that finished in the past. So maybe something started and it finished, then we can use the past simple. If it started in the past but it's still continuing now, then we probably won't be using the past simple, and we'll use the present perfect instead. Whenever we use expressions like yesterday, in 1990, last week, last year, these are all past time expressions. They're all finished times, so we'll probably use the past simple. And when the situation is still happening, if it started in the past but it's not finished, then we won't use the past simple, we'll use the present perfect. Here's a timeline. That long blue line is time, and then in the middle you can see now. So anything before that is in the past. And you can see one red cross for something that happened in the past. So this could be, yesterday I went to the shop. This is in the past, so we use the past simple. Here's another timeline. This one has 3 red crosses on it, in the past. So we can use the past simple to talk about a repeated event or several things that we did in the past. For example, last week I watched some films. So I started all of these films in the past and I finished watching them in the past too. They are all past events. Here's a new sentence. I lived in Russia for 1 year. So how would we draw this on a timeline? Like this. You can see that red line represents living in Russia, and you can see it started in the past and it finished in the past too. So we can use the past simple. What about this timeline though? Here you can see the event started in the past, but it's still happening now, and it's continuing into the future. So here we wouldn't use the past simple because it's not finished. We would use the present perfect. I have lived in Russia for 1 year. So, how do we form a past simple verb? Well, first of all, regular verbs. Regular verbs follow the same rule. So the regular rule is we just put ed on the end of the verb, and then it's a past tense verb. 2 examples: kick, kicked, play, played. Both of them have ed on the end. Close, closed. End, ended. Enjoy, enjoyed. Follow, followed. Open, opened. Need, needed. Pass, passed. Show, showed. Want, wanted. Shop, shopped. So you can see every time here we've just added ed to the end to make it a past tense verb. That's very easy. Now let's make some positive sentences with regular verbs. First of all, we take our pronoun. I, you, he, she, it, we, they. Then we put our verb, our ed verb. Here's changed. I changed, you changed, He changed, she changed, it changed, we changed, they changed. So every time it's just the same verb. We don't change it. It's just change with ed on the end. What about called? I called, you called, he called, she called, it called, we called, they called. So again, we don't change the verb for the pronoun. Cleaned, I cleaned, you cleaned, he cleaned, she cleaned, it cleaned, we cleaned, they cleaned. Played, kicked. So every time we don't change it for the pronoun, we just take our ed verb after our pronoun. Then let's make some real sentences. I kicked the ball. When I was playing football, I kicked the ball. Or you kicked the ball. Or she kicked the ball. You played a game. Today you played a game. I didn't play a game, you played a game. He changed his hairstyle. He has blue hair now. He changed his hairstyle. She changed her hairstyle. We changed our hairstyles. We called my friend. He called his friend. They cleaned the bathroom. You cleaned the bathroom. Now, that's easy enough. Let's have a look at spelling for regular verbs. So all of these verbs end in ed, but sometimes there's a little bit of change. So sometimes we just add ed, but sometimes it's a little different. So most verbs we add ed. Kick becomes kicked. Walk becomes walked. Some verbs we only add d. Use becomes used. Care becomes cared. Why? Because use and care already end with an e, so we don't add another e. So for the next rule, I need you to know what a vowel and a consonant is. So we have an alphabet, and an alphabet made up of 26 letters. Some of the letters are vowels, some of the letters are consonants. There are 5 vowels: A, E, I, O, U. These 5 letters are vowels: A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U. All the other letters are consonants: B, D, Z, T, S, R, M. Okay, these are all consonants. So 5 vowels and the rest are consonants. Now, if you have a verb that ends in a Y, like cry or hurry, to go fast, hurry. Now, both these verbs end in a consonant and then a Y. C-R-Y. H-U-R-R-Y. They both have an R before the Y, which is a consonant. So in that case, we take away the Y on the end of the verb and we put I-E-D. If the verb has a vowel before the Y, then we don't do this, like play, P-L-A-Y. P-L-A-Y. A is a vowel, therefore we don't take away the Y and add I-E-D, we just add E-D like normal. Now in the last rule, with the verbs stop and plan, we double the last letter and then add ed. Stop becomes stopped with 2 P's, and plan becomes planned with 2 N's. This is because at the end of the word there's a consonant, vowel, consonant. So stop is S-T-O-P, the last 3 letters, T-O-P, consonant, vowel, consonant. Because of this, we double that last P. Or the word plan, P-L-A-N, the last 3 letters, L-A-N, consonant, vowel, consonant. So we double that last letter, the N. If we take the word earn, to make money at your job, earn, we have E-A-R-N, E-A-R-N. So the last 3 letters is vowel, consonant, consonant. it's not the right order, it's not the right pattern, so we don't double that last letter. Or the word remain, remain. The last three letters are A-I-N. So we've got vowel, vowel, consonant, and that's not the right pattern either, so we don't double the last letter. Now, for the next bit, you need to know what a syllable is. A syllable. A syllable is a vowel sound in a word. So for example, teacher, teacher has two syllables. Or my name is Archie, Archie has two syllables. Student, student has two syllables. Phone, phone, phone has one syllable. Hello has two syllables. Hi has one syllable. Important, important has three. So that's what a syllable is. Now in the word regret, regret, where is the stress? The stress is where we focus the sound in the word. Is it the first syllable, r, or is it the second syllable, gret? Let's listen to the stress in the first syllable, regret, regret. Let's listen to the stress in the second syllable, regret, regret. Which one sounds right? Number 2, regret, regret. We stress the second syllable. And in this word we have R-E-T at the end. Consonant, vowel, consonant. So we double our T. Regret, regretted, with two T's. Prefer, prefer. Where do we stress it? The first or the second syllable? Prefer, prefer, prefer. Or prefer, prefer. We stress it in the second one, prefer. And it ends in F-E-R, consonant, vowel, consonant. So we double the R. Prefer, preferred, with two R's. What about offer? Offer. Consonant, vowel, consonant, F-E-R, but we don't double it because we stress it on the first syllable. Offer, offer. Not offer, offer, offer. Because of that, we don't double the R. Or visit, visit. Where do we stress it? Visit or visit? Visit, visit, visit. We stress on the first one, so we don't double our T at the end. Two more important things to know. If our verb ends in W, Y or X, then we never double that consonant. And in British English, when we have a verb which ends in a vowel and then an L, we double the L, like travel, travelled, or cancel, cancelled. But in American English, they won't do this. They usually write these words with just one L. What about the pronunciation of ED verbs? Because there's actually 3 different ways they might be pronounced. If you want to learn about this, you can click this link here to this video, or I'll put the link also in the description, so after you finish this one, you can watch that if you want. Now let's look at negative sentences. How do we make a negative sentence in the past simple? Simple. We just add didn't. Didn't. That's all we do. So instead of I kicked the ball, we can say I didn't kick the ball. Didn't just means did not, but usually we'll use the short form, didn't. I did not kick the ball, or I didn't kick the ball. Did is a helping verb, and we just use this when we want to make a negative in the past, or when we want to make a question as well, but we'll look at that in a minute. So didn't is the same for all the pronouns. I didn't kick the ball. You didn't kick the ball. He didn't kick the ball. She didn't kick the ball. We didn't kick the ball. They didn't kick the ball. You didn't play a game. He didn't change his hairstyle. We didn't call my friend. They didn't clean the bathroom. Now notice here that we don't have ed on any of our main verbs. It's not kicked, it's kick. It's not played, it's play. It's not changed, it's change, etc. because we put did in the past. Didn't. So we don't need to put those other verbs in the past. Now how about making a question? Again, we use the helping verb did. And again, our main verb doesn't have the ed. So, did I kick the ball? I don't remember. Did you play a game? Did he change his hairstyle? Did she change her hairstyle? Did we call my friend? Did they clean the bathroom? So again, did is for all the pronouns, quite easy. Now all of those questions I just said are yes or no questions. Did I kick the ball? Yes you did. Or no you didn't. Did he change his hairstyle? Yes he did. Or no he didn't. But if we want to make a more difficult question, a more open question, we can use a question word like what, where, who, when, why, how many, etc. We take this and we put it at the beginning of the sentence. Who did you kick? When did he play a game? Why did she change her hairstyle? Who did you call? When did they clean the bathroom? So we just put this question word right at the beginning of the sentence. Okay, so we've looked at regular verbs. What about irregular verbs? So irregular verbs don't follow a rule. All regular verbs end in ed in the past tense, but irregular verbs, each one of them is different. So we just learn them over time. Some examples. To be becomes was or were. To be has two forms. It's the only one with two forms. I was, he was, she was, it was. And then you were, we were, they were. All the others just have one form. Go, went. Have, had. Make, made. Do, did. See, saw. Eat, ate. Drink, drank. Take, took. Get, got. Bring, brought. Say, said. Buy, bought. Sell, sold. So how do we make a positive sentence with the verb to be in the past simple? First of all, as I said, we have was for I, he, she and it. And we have were for you, we and they. For example, I was sad. He was sad. She was sad. It was sad. You were sad. We were sad. They were sad. Or, I was a kid. He was a kid. She was a kid. Or, you were a kid. We were kids. They were kids. As you can see, I've put kids for the we and they because it's plural. We're talking about more than one person. Or, I was at the party. You were at the party. She was at the party. They were at the party. So what about a negative sentence with the verb to be in the past simple? We just add not after the verb was or were. And when we put was and not together, we usually say wasn't. But we can say was not. Were not together, weren't. Or were not. I wasn't sad. He wasn't sad. You weren't sad. They weren't sad. I wasn't a kid. He wasn't a kid. She wasn't a kid. You weren't a kid. We weren't kids. They weren't kids. I wasn't at the party. She wasn't at the party. You weren't at the party. We weren't at the party. You get the idea. So, weren't for you, we and they, and wasn't for I, he, she and it. What about making a question with the verb to be in the past simple? So, it's pretty easy. We just put was to the beginning of the sentence. Like, was I sad? Were you sad? Was she sad? Was he sad? Was it sad? Were we sad? Were they sad? Or were you at the party? Were they at the party? Was he at the party? So we just put our was or were at the beginning of the sentence. And again, these are yes or no questions. Was he at the party? Yes, he was. Or no, he wasn't. Was she at the party? Yes, she was. No, she wasn't. Were they at the party? Yes, they were. No, they weren't. So if we want to make a more complicated question, we can use a question word. For example, who was sad? Or why were you at the party? Now, what about some positive sentences with other irregular verbs? We have go becomes went. So I went, he went, she went, you went, they went, we went. So again, we're back to a verb which just has one form for all the pronouns. I went to a restaurant. They went to a restaurant. The past simple of have is had. I had some dinner. You had some dinner. The past tense of eat is ate. He ate a burger. They ate burgers. She drank a beer. I drank a beer. So again, all of these are the same for every pronoun. How do we make a negative sentence with these verbs? We put in didn't. Just like at the beginning that we were talking about, didn't, which is did not, but we usually say didn't. I didn't go to a restaurant. She didn't go to a restaurant. They didn't have some dinner. He didn't eat a burger. We didn't drink beers. And notice again, in the negative sentences and in the questions, our main verb is just the infinitive again. I didn't go. I went in the positive and I didn't go in the negative. I had in the positive, I didn't have in the negative. So for questions, again, we put did at the beginning and the infinitive form for the main verb. Did you have some dinner? Did we eat burgers? Did he go to a restaurant? Did she go to a restaurant? Did I go to a restaurant? Did they go to a restaurant? And again, if we want to add a question word, we can, and we can put it at the beginning. What did you eat? What did they drink? So, some speaking practice. I want you to repeat my sentences after me. I went to the supermarket with my friend. She bought some strawberries. I didn't buy strawberries. Who bought strawberries? She bought some strawberries. I got some chocolate. She didn't get chocolate. Who got chocolate? I got chocolate. She didn't want chocolate. I wanted chocolate. Then we had a good idea. We had chocolate and strawberries. Fantastic. Now I have a little story and I want you to finish the sentences with the verb in brackets in the past simple form correct for that sentence. So number 1. Last week I went to the cinema with my friend. Went. But she didn't like the film. Didn't like. She then asked me a question. She asked me, "Did you like the film? Did you like?" And then I said to her, "I thought it was really good." Thought, was. And then she said it was terrible. Said and was. Now I want you to make a sentence looking at what I'm doing. What did I do? You read. I read. What about this? You closed the book. You closed the book. What about this? You opened the book. I opened the book. What about this? You drank. I drank. I drank some water. Okay, so thanks very much, everyone. I hope that was very useful for you, and thanks for joining my video. If you want to watch that video on the pronunciation of ED sounds in regular verbs, click the link in my bio. And if you have any particular ideas about what you want to learn about in the future, then write it down in the comments. Remember to like this video and subscribe if you want more content from my channel. Thanks very much, have a lovely day, bye!